Who are you?
Well, my name's Hunter. John Hunter. You called. Before the commercial break?
I called the police. Are you who they sent?
Oh, I'm with a special branch of the police, yes. We deal with school-related burglary, academic theft, stuff of this nature.
Oh.
May I come in?
Sure.
So, you say someone stole your report, eh?
That's right.
And, do you have any suspicions as to who might have done it?
Gabriel. Mitkiv. Gabriel Mitkiv.
And, why do you think he took it?
He's a slacker. He hasn't done any work on his decade project. He probably stole mine so he wouldn't fail at AP history.
I see. Well, shall we take a look at the scene of the crime, then?
Absolutely.
Alright.
It's right up this way. Over here.
So is that where the report was?
Yes, I had it all right there. And then I went downstairs to go to the bathroom, and when I came back, everything was gone.
Everything?
Well, except for the title page to the 10 one-page reports. That's still there, but that doesn't really matter.
I'd like to see that too, if I could.
Oh, sure. It's in my room.
Right.
Here's the 10 one-page report title.
Well, I guess you couldn't write them all over again, I suppose.
Oh, no, I couldn't do that. I spent so much time on the report and on the poster. And the report's due tomorrow, on Monday. I never finish it in time.
Why? What was the report on?
It was about the 60s.
Well, what about the 60s?
Everything. There was stuff about the Cuban Missile Crisis. With those missiles. In Cuba.
Or, more specifically, the missiles and materials to build launch sites were sent to Cuba from the USSR. In October of 1962, the US became aware of Cuba's ability to fire nuclear missiles from those sites. Kennedy ordered a blockade, and for several days the world stood on the brink of nuclear war. Finally, the USSR agreed to Kennedy's demands, provided America would not attack Cuba, and the Soviet Union removed their weapons.
Right. That's what I had. But that wasn't it. I also had stuff about pop art, and Woodstock.
Oh, what about them?
Well, for pop art, there was Klaus Oldenburg, Roy Lichtenstein, and Andy Warhol.
Didn't Oldenburg create food-scented plaster and soft sculpture expressions made of stuffed cloth?
Yeah.
And was Roy Lichtenstein the artist who painted large comic strip-like pictures?
I think so.
And I believe it was Andy Warhol who is famous for repeated image pictures such as Marilyn Monroe.
Right. Well, I also had information on the space race.
Which we lost.
Excuse me?
Well, the Russians got into space before we did, but the US succeeded in landing the first man on the moon during July 20th, 1969.
I had an article about popular drugs in the 60s.
Such as marijuana and LSD.
Then there was the Freedom Riders who,
They were a campaign to monitor Southern desegregation. One particular busload of both African American and white Freedom Riders were ambushed and beaten near Anniston, Alabama on May 14th, 1961.
And in 1962, James Meredith was the first black student to enroll at the University of
Mississippi. He was supported by 3,000 federal troops that were necessary to quell anti-integration riots.
Oh, and speaking of riots, there was the Watts riots on August 11, 1965.
Yes, those riots began in the Watts area of Los Angeles, causing 34 deaths and more than $200 million in damages. Now, you had mentioned Woodstock. What did you have on that?
Well, it was a music festival of 500,000 baby boomers. They camped out and listened to rock stars on a farm in upstate New York. I think that happened on August 15, 1969.
Right, so what else did you have?
Well, On May 9th of 1960, the birth control pill was approved for use in the United States. It added stuff about campus riots.
Like the Columbia protest, where 800 students seized and barricaded 5 buildings for 5 days.
And the Democratic Convention in Chicago,
where a large number of demonstrators were assaulted by the police force assigned to the convention.
And I had pictures of anti-war protesters and Vietnam soldiers, and Muhammad Ali, and the I Have a Dream speech made by Martin Luther King Jr. during a march on Washington on August 28, 1963.
Well, that sounds impressive. I can see why you don't want to do it over again. Well, I guess the only solution would be to hunt down Gabriel and get your report back, your poster and your 10 one-page reports.
Mr. Hunter, there's something I should warn you about. Gabriel isn't your normal high school student. He's kind of strange.
Yeah?
You see, he's got the personality of an ice cube.
Are you saying he's a cold person?
Yes, cold. And ruthless, too.
Yeah.
He doesn't care who he steps on to get his own way.
Yeah. Like an ice cube. Nice metaphor. But in all honesty, Peter, I don't think I'll be running into problems. Because it's not like I came unarmed.
You wouldn't shoot him, would you?
Oh, not with bullets. This is a long-range stun gun.
Oh.
But in order to investigate this case further, I believe I need you to sign a form. I think I left it downstairs.
Okay.
I'm just going to see which one I need you to sign.
You want something to drink?
No, I'm all set, thanks.
I still can't believe it's gone, though. I spent all last week on it. I guess I should have typed out the report instead of writing it all out on paper.
Yes, that would have been better, I suppose.
So I guess Gabriel has my only copy. Oops. But I guess hindsight is 20/20.
Right, I'd like you to read this over. Print your name at the top and sign at the bottom.
Okay.
So do you know where this Gabriel Mitkiv lives?
Not a clue.
That's too bad.
But I'm sure we'll find him before tomorrow. I mean, after all, he can't be that smart. If he was, he would have had his own report done by now.
So, how did Gabriel get into your house?
Through the garage, I think. Why?
Well, I'd like to look around there if I could.
Oh. Okay. It's a page from one of my reports. Gabriel must have come back.
How could you have been so careless as to drop this? Well, Peter, you may want to go back upstairs and make sure nothing else is missing.
Okay.